Hey, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm Tom Zuba, and this is the Halloween edition of A New Way to Do Grief. This is what I love about Halloween. My wife, Trish, who was very, very proud of the fact that she was 100% Irish. Unlike me, she referred to me as a half-breed because I'm Irish on my mom's side. Both of my grandparents were born and raised in Ireland. My father, however, is Polish, Lithuanian, and actually Russian, we discovered late in his mother's life. So she loved Halloween because Halloween, according to the Celtic tradition, is the time when the veil between both worlds is at its thinnest. That will tell you a little bit about Trish. She referred to herself as a mystical Catholic. So today's the 29th, and the veil is thinning, 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 thinning. And for those of us that are Catholic, November 1st is All Saints' Day, and November 2nd is All Souls' Day. So it's a really, really, really powerful time of year. I'm excited because today we have two phenomenal guests, each in their own right. I'm going to introduce you to Phil Wall, who's a filmmaker, and he created the most beautiful, beautiful love story. The film premiered Sunday at the Austin Film Festival. It's called The Bookkeeper. I've seen it twice. It is a multi-layered love story about his mother and father's relationship, about the relationship between a mom and a dad and their three kids, about a relationship between a woman and the gentleman from Kenya who worked on her garden. It's a beautiful love story about a father, a husband, fulfilling a dream of his wife's. And it's a beautiful love story about the relationship between a father and a son. Phil's going to tell us how we can actually view this must-see film called The Bookkeeper. And then I'm going to introduce you to Gabi. Gabi is many, many, many things. Gabi is light. She's light. Her husband, Marian, is light. I met them through Nancy. Today, Gabi is going to talk to us about the Day of the Dead, about that beautiful, probably misunderstood celebration in Mexico. That's the tip of the iceberg as to who Gabi is. So I'm going to bring on Jessica. Many of you know Jessica. She's going to help me get this party started. Jessica was actually, hey there, Jessica. Once again, you're sideways. It's always nice to see you sideways. Don't forget, CW. Oh, you did. You actually did. You moved the phone. That's good. That's really, really good. So like CNN, like MSNBC, like Fox News, there are technical difficulties in this age of the virus. We're learning how to make it work. Hi, Jessica. I don't believe she can hear me yet. So, Jessica. Hey there.
Hey, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Somehow you're able to walk sideways. It's quite miraculous.
Oh, should I flip it the other way?
Well, you're literally, it looks like you're walking on the wall. It's cool.
Have you had a drink?
No, I have not. Okay, remember, but CW wants you to put the phone horizontal.
Okay. Which is how I thought now it's switched over. Okay.
Let's
It's
take
just
a
happier with
breath.
my home Wi-Fi.
Take a breath and say yes to the new adventure.
Yes.
Yes,
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 yes.
yes to the new adventure. So let folks that are watching this for the first time, let them know why you were driving in your car horizontally.
Well, I teach music on Thursdays, and my break is from 11 until 12. Then I have a planning period from 12 into 12:30. So this is my puppy because I'm home and I teach just a few minutes away from my house where my daughter goes to school. So very convenient.
And you're a real person with a living child and a child on the other side and a dog.
And a dog and a busy schedule. Rebuilding a life.
What's your dog's name?
This is Faith.
Faith.
Faith. Lily named her. Livia passed in April and we got Faith in July.
Do you remember what date you actually got Faith?
July 20th.
That's go ahead.
She was born May 20th.
So my brother, Daniel Patrick, was born July 19th. And he died in early August when I was 6. My brother Jim's birthday is July 20th. And Aaron left the planet on July 18th. So July 18th, 19th, 20th. So July 20th is an important date for you as well.
It is. And Olivia was diagnosed on July 17th. That's that's the day that the C word entered our life. So
this is what Rory and I came to believe. For those of you that don't know, Rory's my 13-year-old son who died from a glioblastoma in 2005. When Rory was alive, we actually were fascinated by dates because we decided that when we were on the other side and when we were getting ready to incarnate in these physical bodies, we very consciously chose certain dates that we would have in common with people. So when we were on the planet, we would say, oh, July 20th, I recognize you. That was a way, that was a sign. So we would know. So
that's amazing that Rory, did he have that philosophy before he was diagnosed?
Oh my God. Like when he was 4. Absolutely. And we would always talk with people and we would kind of work in. So when's your birthday? Oh, you're married? What date did you get married on?
Yeah.
Oh, your mom passed away? When's her birthday? When did she? I mean, we would literally, I'm sure people thought we were nuts, but we would, get all the dates out there. We would take a look and we would go, oh, connected to you. And inevitably, the people we were connected to, we already knew because of the way it felt to be with them.
Right.
So a couple things. Number one, the show today, we have 2 really light beings. I'm not sure that they know that they're light beings, but the connection, you already know Gabi, so you know what that is like. But you're going to meet Phil, and you're going to meet through Phil, you're going to meet his father, Dick, his mother, Carol. And I know you, like energy attracts like energy. You're going to go, okay, I know who you are. I know who you are. Seriously. So
I'm excited. I watched part of your the interview with Phil that you had on Tuesday.
Yes.
It was amazing. And I watched a little bit more of it this morning. The scope of his story in that documentary, it's incredible.
The fact that it was the first time that this man was talking with another man about grief, 2 men sitting down and publicly talking about grief. If I can say the F word, that's effing groundbreaking. That just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
So my hope is, my intention is, when the film, not if, but when the film, The Bookkeepers, is accepted into the next film festival and people in that community and worldwide are able to view it, then I want to bring his dad on, because I really, really, really want to talk to Dick. And my first question is, who exactly are you? You
Yeah.
know, and where did you come from, and how does a human being look at life the way you look at it? He and I are practically the same age, and our approach to our wives' deaths, oh my Lord, it's night and day. It's night and day. So I'm really excited about that. But
Yeah.
before we bring him on, Saturday is Halloween. And what Trish would say, my mystical Catholic wife, who was all Irish, she loved Halloween because in the Celtic tradition, it's the time of year when the veil between both worlds is at its thinnest.
Do you believe that? I know that is a common belief system. I like to think that we're always close, but maybe there is something a little bit more significant of the 31st of Halloween day.
I absolutely agree with you that we are always, always, always close. And I believe that we are such powerful creators.
Yeah.
That if I choose to believe with excitement and with gratitude and with anticipation that, okay, no coincidence, there's an effing full moon Saturday night.
Is there really?
Yes.
I don't know how I missed that.
Saturday, well, because you're busy. You're raising a child, you're paying your bills, and you have a dog named Faith. That's how you missed it. I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to put in my coffee every day. So, you know, our lives are a little bit different. I've lived your life, and honestly, I loved living your life. I love living my life a little bit better. So
it's all good. It's all good stuff.
It is all good. It is all good. So what I believe is that because I've chosen to believe that this weekend brings heightened, more intense opportunities to connect with the divine, because I believe that, that's what I'm going to experience.
Absolutely.
And like Phil and like his father and his brother and sister and his mom, we were raised Roman Catholic. So Sunday, which is November 1st, is All Saints' Day. It's the day literally when we celebrate the saints, you know, those people that we love who went to the other side. We literally celebrate them. And then on the 2nd, we celebrate All Souls. And because I've expanded my understanding of Catholicism, literally, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, it's a 3-day festival celebrating all of our people.
I love that, like the Holy Trilogy. I love that. So yes. I wasn't raised Catholic. So is it like a feast day? Does family get together on All Saints Day, or?
Some families certainly do. It varies, I think, from culture to culture to culture, you know, nationality, how they actually celebrated it. But more and more now, I don't believe they're going to be able to do it because of the virus, but on the 2nd, which is All Souls Day, literally, people are invited to bring photos of their beloveds to church, put them on the table right up by the altar, and really, you know, celebrate and honor and recognize. Very, very similar to what we did at the retreat 2 weekends ago.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. I love that. I was raised Protestant, and we didn't do that. But I love it. I love the ceremony.
I do too.
Behind those things.
I do too. So what's interesting, I believe that is a tradition that is just steeped in history. And for some reason, you know, humanity has kind of moved away from that. But we're teaching a new way. And I believe more and more people are open to bringing their beloveds back into the family. And that's one of the reasons why I'm really excited to talk to Gabi, because I'm aware of the Day of the Dead, but I don't really have a clear understanding of it. Do you?
No, I don't. And there's a Disney movie out. It might even be Day of the Dead. I'm kind of blanking on it, but I started to watch a little bit of it and I thought, oh, I don't know. It was kind of ghoulish. And Lily wanted to turn it over. And it was shortly after Olivia passed. And I thought, well, if souls are unhappy on the other side, I don't really want her to see this. So I'm curious to learn more about it because I have kind of my kind of
you know what would be interesting? So it was an animated film that was in broad release.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I do kind of remember that. What I think would be interesting if you watched it now, from the chair you're sitting in now, if, we don't see the world as it is, we see the world as we are. So you're different now. Be interesting to see what your impressions are of it now.
Yeah, that would be.
Are you guys going to go trick-or-treating?
Well, this is our first year that Lily's going to be away from me. She's going to be with her dad this weekend. So Halloween fell on his weekend. So that's modern family life.
So what are you going to create for yourself?
I don't know. I was having a little bit of I'm going to be real honest. I was having a little bit of a pity party for myself earlier. Pity party of one.
Yeah, there's nobody. But there's nobody that loves pity parties more than me, because a pity party is getting the shit up and out, getting it up and up, instead of pretending. All right.
Pretending, it's good. It's,
right. So you got it up and out. Yeah. I know you well enough. All right. There's a full moon. You're going to be, quote, by yourself. It's supposed to be a pretty nice weather-wise.
It is supposed to be a nice weekend.
Right. It's the time when the veil is the thinnest. I saw you up on that hill with the candles and the drums and the cauldron.
The cauldron?
Come on. I mean,
bats and ghouls. Yeah.
Or you know what? Maybe there were spirits and saints and angels.
Maybe there were. They were all around us. Yeah.
So what do you want to create for yourself Saturday night during the full moon?
Oh, now I'm kind of excited about it.
We call that a shift.
It'll be great. It is a shift. And I love that you acknowledge that. Yeah, to get it up and out, to sit in it. And it is kind of, it's a change. I want to go trick-or-treating with her. But
listen. Number one, you got a dead kid. It's okay to have an effing pity party. It just is. It's okay.
It's real life. Yeah.
Totally. This is Halloween. This is a story that we tell ourselves is not true. But let's buy into it for a second. All the other moms and dads are going to be trick-or-treating with all their kids, having so much fun. And us, we're all by ourselves. Okay, well, that feels shitty. So let's tell another story.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You have a beautiful daughter that's alive. You know that. You have a beautiful daughter that's right here with us, holding us. There's going to be a full moon. Your daughter gets to be with her daddy. Very, very cool. You get to bring out your cauldron and whoa. All right. So I believe Phil is ready for us to bring him on. He may have said, oh, these people are whacked. I'm leaving.
What are they talking about? Cauldrons.
He won't. So the name of his beautiful, beautiful, beautiful film is The Bookkeepers. It is a love story on so many different levels. I don't believe in coincidences. When I was talking with him, and as Jessica said, I spent 90 minutes talking with Phil Tuesday night. You can find it on my podcast, Becoming Radiant. We just uploaded it today. Anywhere you find your podcasts, Tom Zuba's Becoming Radiant. Honestly, give yourself 90 minutes. He's going to tell us today how we can actually watch this beautiful, beautiful piece of film that he created. give yourself the gift of doing that. Hey, Phil.
Hey, Tom. Hey, Jessica. How are you?
Hi, Phil.
Welcome,
Nice.
welcome.
Yeah, I'm not. I watched everything leading up to this. I'm not that scared. I actually, it's actually nice to hear. My mom, actually, I just want to say, she actually converted to Catholicism from grew up Methodist. And one of the things she told me that she loved about being Catholic was this idea that the church community extends beyond the living. And so when we talk about All Saints Day, we're talking about how those people are still a part of our community, and they are praying with us and celebrating with us. So I thought that was really nice.
I love that you shared that, but I'm going to give you just a little unsolicited advice. What would have been really cool is if you would have said, well, my mom actually grew up in a witch haven, and my father is a warlock. Are you okay with that?
Yeah.
And I explain all of it in my film, The Bookkeeper.
Yeah, it's part of it's subtext. Yeah, it's hidden in there between the lines. Yeah.
So thank you for spending time with us today. As you know, to say that I love this film that you created would be an understatement. A woman that both Jessica and I know, her name's Lindsay. Her incredible husband, John, died from a glioblastoma. It'll be a year on November 25th. She watched the film. And you know what she said? Then she watched our interview. She said, I loved when you asked Phil what his vision was for what was going to happen with this film. And you said theaters all across the world, people standing in line, jumping to their feet afterward, applauding. This is what Lindsay said. Let's hold that vision with him. Let's create that.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Lindsay. And November 25th is my birthday. So I will be thinking of all of you. That's great.
Seriously?
Yes. Yeah. And you, yeah.
Let's take a pause here. Wow. So what do people need to know about the film, and how are they going to be able to watch it until midnight tonight?
Well, the film is about me following my dad as he promotes my mom's memoir, her breakout book, shortly after her death, because she was too sick at the time it came out to ever speak about it. And so he got invited to a few events, and one thing led to another, and we both and our entire family embarked on this unexpected journey where we got to connect with people all across the country about her message and the themes in her book. And so the film is about that journey. And this week it is playing through the Austin Film Festival. The world premiere was on Sunday. And kind of the great thing about everything being virtual right now is that anyone can watch this film through the Austin Film Festival, which ends tonight. And so you can go to the website, it's bookkeepers.movie, and I have a button on there that you can click that'll take you right to the screening page.
So I went over, my mom's 88. I went over to my mom's house. I got her iPad. I uploaded it, and I said, you must watch this film. You must watch this film. 92 minutes later, she texted me, can we talk about the film? So I called her. She's like, what's the name of that book? Phil, what's the name of the book your mom wrote?
The book is Mr. Oweda's Guide to Gardening. I actually have it. I took your advice. I have it right here.
Bring it up closer so we can actually see it. So this is what my mom asked. She said, what's the subtitle of the book?
The subtitle is How I Learned the Unexpected Joy of a Green Thumb and an Open Heart.
Say that again.
How I Learned the Unexpected Joy of a Green Thumb and an Open Heart.
So my mom goes, go ahead.
Yeah, and I think that's sort of what the film is about. It became about, the film complements the themes in her book, and it is about how to cultivate an open heart. And it's really a meditation for me on what that means, and what I think that maybe she was trying to tell us and leave with us. And of course, what I watched my dad do, or witnessed him do over the last few years. And so, yeah, it's really, I'm glad that you brought that up.
So my mom's next question is, where do we get the book? Phil, where do we get the book?
I mean, the book is everywhere. You can go to MrOwita.com to learn about the book, and that's OWITA, and you can learn about the book and where to buy it. But it's Amazon, Barnes & Noble, IndieBound, and of course you can find us on Facebook and Instagram. It's at Mr. Owita.
I literally said to my mom, Mom, you can get the book on Amazon. And her next response was, would you order it for me so I can get it tomorrow? The book for my mom is arriving today.
That's fantastic.
So my dad died a year ago, April 8th. He turned 88 on April 6th, and he died on April 8th. And our friend Anna, who I'm sure you're going to meet someday, Phil, you probably grew up on the same street in Brazil in a different life. But what she said is, your dad died on April 8th at the age of 88. She said, do you know what the symbol 8 means? And I'm slow. And she said, it means infinity. It means infinity. So your mom, your dad, Dick, you, your brother and sister profoundly impacted my 88-year-old mom's grief journey. And I really, really appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for saying that. And I think that the film for me is a response to the stories that other people shared with me that changed me. And that's really what I tried to, I mean, I felt challenged in a way because I had this opportunity to be a witness to this and to share this story. And so in some ways I felt like I have to try to capture this, interaction that we're having with people after these events, where people are coming up and hugging my dad and hugging me, or asking me for a hug, and just telling me who they lost, and talking to me about my mom. And I just thought, like, what if there's a film here where people at the end, like we said, stand up in the theater and hug each other and tell a story. And that's kind of what this is about.
I want to stop you for a second. We didn't say that. You said it. I wrote it down and I underscored it because I want to help create that with you, but that came from you.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. I mean, that's what I dream of. Yeah.
That's where it starts. I mean, that's where it starts. I believe, and my hunch is your mom believes this as well, that those kind of dreams are actually planted. Those kind of dreams, it's another way that the divine speaks to us and through us. And that's what I call a glimpse of our optimal life. And because we have free will, we can either attach to it and say, yeah, I believe this is possible. I live in a place of unlimited possibility. Or we go, nah, that's just a stupid dream. That'll never happen.
Mm-hmm. You know, my dad used the word glimpse. He talks about my mom's book, and he has talked to me about this film after, we've seen a bunch of drafts of it, and we watched it on Sunday together. And he's talked about other works like this, where he says that they are a glimpse, that in some ways, it is, I think it's Anne Lamott who says, that grace finds us where we are and leaves us somewhere else. And I know I'm paraphrasing, but those are the types of stories that are important to tell and important to be present for. And as a storyteller, as a filmmaker, I think that my job is in some ways to allow for that.
Let me ask you this. You're an English major, as you shared in my conversation Tuesday night. As you kind of reflect back, would you say that your life, your whole life, actually prepared you to create this film?
Yes, yes, and I would say that for the next one as well. There's no getting around that.
So I was literally standing in front of my dead wife's casket on January 6th of 2005. I very intentionally scheduled her funeral on the Feast of the Epiphany. And I had my 7-year-old by my side. My son Sean was 3, so I didn't bring him. And I knew intuitively that my entire life had prepared me for this moment. I'm standing in front of my dead wife's casket. And I'm saying to I wasn't saying it, I was aware that I was being told that my entire life had prepared me for this moment. My hunch is your mom's going, oh, you know it did. Yeah, it did. It did. And Trisha's like, aha, aha, aha. So let me ask you this. When you kind of reflect back, the people that came to hear your father speak, were they primarily women?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So did your dad and you, did you ever like say, well, I wonder where all the men are?
I definitely, yeah, we definitely talked about that. And it's more, I mean, the book, I think the demographic for the book, maybe just how it was marketed and things, it's just more women were reading it and coming out to these groups. But yeah, I wonder about, because a lot of events that we went to were groups who were gathering for another purpose. So they weren't just book groups. There were grief groups and cancer groups, and still are, that we speak with. And yeah, it's primarily women, now that you're asking me that. Yeah.
You know what? I'm a master gardener, and I believe that most people that own nurseries are men. So I know that a certain segment of the audience that the book was marketed to are gardeners.
Right.
There are a lot of male gardeners out there.
Yeah, I mean, maybe, right. And there's a lot of men who have cancer and a lot of men who suffer from grief, right? But yeah, for some reason, we're on those tours, and most of the groups are women. I know that my dad did speak to a couple of groups that were specifically either religious groups, Bible study, that were for men, or I know that there was one in North Carolina that was a group of men who are experiencing loss.
When you were making all of your stops, were you aware how unique it was and continues to be that 2 men are publicly making themselves available and being vulnerable and hugging strangers and talking about dead people? And my hunch is every now and then letting a tear drop from your eye. Were you aware of how unique that is?
No, I think for me, I've been very lucky that I'm around, you've come to know my dad through the film. And some of what he has done has amazed me, and sort of his ability to open up. But I wasn't completely surprised. And my brother is very open, and a lot of my friends are. So to me, it's like you said, I've been preparing for it my whole life, because I do have these examples. And honestly, I am, I guess, emotionally curious, intellectually curious about how people try to deal with these things that are impossible to fathom, and how we can integrate them into our, worldview, how we explain the world to ourselves.
So Jessica, in your multi-year journey through your daughter's cancer, did you question, like, where are the men, where are the men, where are the men? And particularly afterwards, as you've traveled, through the ups and downs and ins and outs of grief and healing, do you say, where are the men?
I do. What I see a lot are women coming forward to join groups, grief groups, and then taking the information back to their husbands and maybe sharing that information privately because they don't always feel comfortable, my perception anyway, and my discussions, they don't really feel comfortable being so vulnerable with quote unquote strangers.
And for the first time, I'm going to be really blunt and honest. And what percentage of those men do you think are actually reading the pamphlet or picking up the book or actually engaging in the give and take of the conversation or watching the YouTube video?
Probably not a lot.
So what I think is fascinating, Phil, and I mentioned this to you, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 months ago, I literally set the intention. And it's subtle because I'm not going to barge in where I'm not invited. But when I get a message from a man who says, I read your book and your book really, really touched me, that's an invitation. So I go, yeah, I want to talk with Phil. But what I am noticing is, because of the energy that I'm intentionally putting out, more men like you, Phil, and like your unbelievably amazing dad are coming into my arena. They're on my radar screen. So, we are building something. I want to ask you, because I do believe in intention and I do believe in co-creating. So the film festival closes tonight. And I know through talking to you that there are other film festivals that you have your eye and your heart on. And when you receive the yes, then an even wider audience will be able to view the film. So can you, do you have 3 festivals that you've either already submitted to, or the Sundance Film Festival, which you absolutely want to get into? What's on your list?
I guess I don't want to be too specific about which festivals, but I mean, there are a number. It's more like, there are a number of documentary festivals here in North America that I'd be interested in being a part of. And then there are some international ones. I would like to have a screening in Canada, places where my mom's book is, Australia and New Zealand. Her book is there. Denmark, the Netherlands. I would just love to be able for the film to follow in her book's footsteps and have a presence where the people who are able to connect with her can also connect with us.
So how can we energetically help you co-create that? I mean, you said Canada, Australia, New Zealand, Denmark, Netherlands. That's broad, that's cool. But is there something that we can zero in on where we're going to go, yep, we co-created that with Phil. We're really, really excited about that.
Well, I think that what I want is for the people who are making, who are reviewing submissions for these festivals, I want them to come to this film with an open mind and an open heart, and to accept it for what it is. And I think, they have thousands of films that they're looking at, and that's why we're so proud of being a part of the Austin Film Festival. That whoever first came across that was impacted by our film and said yes. And that's what I think about as I'm doing these submissions. Is I think about, I hope that whoever encounters this film, whoever is kind of the gatekeeper, as having a good day and is ready for this.
So how many films do you know were submitted to the Austin Film Festival?
When I listened to the opening remarks, they said they had 5,000 submissions. And I don't know how many features and how many shorts, but they had programmed 30 feature films. Maybe they could correct me, but it might include their script submissions as well. But it's quite hard to get in to any festival. So, and Austin has a fantastic reputation.
And how many of all the submissions, how many actually got in?
For the feature films, I believe they had roughly 30 feature films.
And how many did they give awards to?
They gave 4 feature film awards. Yeah.
And you're being very graceful, like your father. And what are those awards?
Well, so there is a documentary category, and we received the vote from the jury for best documentary. Yeah.
Amazing.
So of all the documentaries, the one that you created received the top best award.
Yes. It blew me away. And especially seeing the other films that are in the festival, they're all so good. And to feel that not only the film's accepted, but, these people that I love, my mom and my dad and my brother and sister and everybody who pitched in to make the film possible, are also being accepted and recognized for the openness that they brought to this journey.
Are you proud of yourself?
Yes, I am. It feels very good.
So I'm going to click on a screen right now, and miraculously, it's going to be your mom, Carol. What is Carol going to say to her baby named Jill? What's Carol going to say about the world premiere and taking the top prize of this film? What's she going to say to you?
I know that she would say that she is proud. She said that to me a number of times, and every time I would make something, she was the first person to tell me how good it is and all the ways that it touched her. And yeah, she would tell me that she's proud. And one of the last things that I heard her say about me, she told the nurse that as I left the room, she said, "He's a sweet boy." And so I think about that and about, what that means and how I need to carry myself through life and through my career and through the journey with this film, and stay open and, be sweet and loving and as much as I can.
So I'm your mom and dad's age, so I get to say, I experience you as a sweet, loving, kind man, which is rare. So I want to switch a little bit. Do you know what a sound bath is?
I do. Yeah, I've done a few with my girlfriend got me kind of involved. So yeah.
Yes. Why am I not surprised? So can you stay with us for about 15, 20 minutes? Because I want you to meet Gabi.
Okay, great.
So like energy attracts like energy. So Jessica, put your sunglasses on. I'm going to bring Gabi on, and you already know she is just pure light, as is this gentleman that we have the honor of being with. So that's either her or this is her. She's on 2 different.
Stand by.
Yeah, there you are. I'm going to remove this one. Okay. Look at her. So we can see you, and I know you're connecting to audio. You'll get it. Just be very, very patient. You'll connect at the perfect time in the perfect way. So Phil, Gabi's from Mexico and she's been in the US for 5 years and she did not really speak English well. She's also, she's a healer, she's a psychotherapist, she's a television personality in Mexico. She's a phenomenal actress because I had been with her like probably 5 hours and I thought, I thought she'd been here her whole life. I thought she spoke English beautifully, the flow of the conversation. And she said to me, I've been learning English. I look at your face, I look at your movements, and I'm hoping that I'm experiencing and hearing what it is you're actually saying. Okay, she wants me to admit her again. She's doing the best she can.
I didn't know that she's only been speaking English for 5 years.
Yes,
I'm floored by that. Yeah.
I know. Can you hear us?
Yes, I am so happy.
All right, so I'm gonna remove this one. Okay,
Yeah.
and I'm hoping I'm not gonna remove you.
Okay. Yes, I was trying the computer. Finally, I made it with my phone. So that's good.
Okay, so Phil, I've got two screens for her, and I'm afraid if I delete one.
I think one of them is her phone audio, right?
Okay. So, for example,
And then,
in the phone.
Okay, so we're gonna have the placeholder at the bottom for all of the spirits for my mom. I'm not my mom, my dad, for your mom, for Olivia, for Rory, for Sean. Welcome, 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 Gabi.
Thank you, Tom. I'm so happy and excited to be here joining the conversation.
Hey,
So
Gabi.
you know Jessica.
Yes,
Hello.
Jess. So nice to see you.
And I want you to meet Phil. Phil is a light being in the same way that you and Marian are. So I asked him if he could stay and be with us. And he knows what sound baths are, which doesn't surprise me at all.
Okay.
But what I really, really am interested in, I'm interested in many, many things from you, but I have a little concept of the Day of the Dead. And what I asked is if you could kind of bring us into your culture and your experience of it. So, we can be part of it as well.
Yes, absolutely. But first, one comment. Phil was saying that your birthday, Phil, is on November 25th, 25.
yes, that's right.
My sister, yeah, she passed away 8 years ago, and she is November 24, and mine is November 23. So it's just so beautiful to imagine, no, that I don't know.
It is. My sister's is the 21st, so we have to meet someone who's the 22nd. We've got a place for them. Yeah.
Oh my God. Yes.
You want to know something interesting? My third book, it comes out November 22nd.
Oh my God.
Ooh.
Amazing.
Oh, Tom, my parents' anniversary is January 8th.
There you go. See, we're all connected.
Yeah, it's so beautiful to witness and to see and to feel that we all are of this incredible concert, majestic concert. Life is just such a powerful organization, and we are just playing our little role. Beautiful role. So so coming back to the Day of the Dead, it's a beautiful tradition, Mesoamerican tradition, in which the main idea is that life doesn't finish when we die. It's just a continuation. So it's always the idea of duality. Same as we as individuals, you were talking about male and what happened with men and grieving. We all are both. So male and female energy, both of us. Life is not just life and then we go. No, it's life and that is just a continuation. The same as light and dark and wave and particle is just to understand one, you need the other to do that to complete the idea or the experience. So Day of the Dead is meant to create this environment of celebration, just to receive them back in that one day, even though we're always connected. But in that special day, it's like welcome to all of them, our loved ones. So we create these beautiful altars because it's a celebration. It's not like to cry and oh my God, no, it's day. And we prepare their favorite food and dishes. And for example, for kids to put the toys, candles, scents. So there are a lot of symbols and elements that are meant to guide them back into their homes in this dimension. So for example, the candlelight. There is a very special and traditional flower, marigold, I think it's named here, and the Aztec name is cempasúchitl. That is a very vibrant flower. Just that the color is beautiful, the scent is so special. So also that element is meant to guide them, the light, the flowers, salt, because they create like little paths, water, their favorite drinks. So you can see sometimes depending on the adult, wine, tequila, or something like that. And yes, mostly their photographs, of course, no? And they are like two special days, but the main one happens on November the 2nd. It was not like that, but then there was this fusion with the Catholic Church, and they decided to set that as the Day of the Dead. So November 1st is for the kids, for children. So that is so sweet. And what you will find in altars is mostly like sweets and toys and all of that. And it's just to completely to stop your activities and to fully feel and celebrate their presence and to sing their songs and to talk with them. And it's a family gathering, which I find beautiful because that is what traditions are meant for, is to strengthen families, to be united into essential things about life. And what else? And November 2nd is the adults, the celebration of the adults. So yes, more than being like a spooky thing or, oh my God, the ghosts are coming. No, not at all. It has nothing to do with that. And the skulls, because perhaps people see like the skull like, oh my God, this is like so scary. No, the meaning of the skull is to transcend. So for example, in the altars, you also see these sugar skulls with the name of your loved ones and in their transcendency, in their formless presence now.
So have you been to India?
No, I haven't. But I see a lot of relationship, for example, in their tradition and their altars with the food and the flowers and the celebration, no? As they are.
So when I was in India, I got to witness the very, very sacred ceremony of the Hindus bringing the body of their loved ones and placing them on the altar. And before they set them on fire, they literally covered their bodies with marigolds, the same flower.
Wow, yes. And you see the pyramids, Tom, in the pyramids, there are a lot of symbols of these flowers. So this was really very important in the Aztec tradition. Marigolds, there's something about marigolds.
So to me, that's proof that we absolutely are all connected, that we absolutely are all one throughout the ages, that nothing is really new.
Definitely. There are like so many of those, Tom.
I loved what you said, that life doesn't finish and we receive them back. Can you give us some concrete examples of how you know without a doubt that you are receiving them back?
Because you can feel their presence. It's not necessarily you're not going to see them like physically, but you can feel even like some smells, and there's such an environment, Tom, because imagine that happens when you are a one person just evoking that loved one, But when there's a group and there's a collective doing the same thing, it literally is like opening a portal, and you can feel it. There are, for example, in the tradition, Miskik is a very important, and you can see a place in Mexico where it's mostly in the cemetery, where they put, you can see like if it was an ocean just of candles and people there with their food and with their songs and just in this celebration, and you literally enter to that environment and it's like being in another world. You can feel it. It's something, it's like the gong bath, Tom, that you cannot describe it until you feel it and experience it.
And in Mexico, do both men and women participate?
Yes, both. Very, very important, because it's the same idea of duality. I think, unfortunately, the macho thing and the separation and the idea of fragmentation between men and women happened after the Spaniards came to Mexico, because all that was coming from the Arabs. So all that philosophy and idea about men and women, the Spaniards were like for so many years under the control of the Arabs, and then Spain came to Mexico and create the same situation. Fortunately, they didn't exterminate, but there was a lot of killing and things and oppressing the culture, but then there was this fusion. So then things changed. But originally for the Aztecs, male and female are as important as a complement, as one. Mm-hmm. So yes, the participation of both in the ritual, that is the way it is. Mm-hmm.
So when I looked back on my wife's death, my kids were 3 and 7. And one of the powerful gifts of her death is that I got to be the mommy and the daddy. Yeah. And after I stopped resisting it for 3 or 4 years, I actually loved being the mommy and the daddy. And what I realized is that I was allowing what we call feminine to sit next to what we call masculine. And that's a whole human being. That's a whole human being. And I would suggest, Phil, that based on what I've learned about you and your family, that you literally grew up surrounded by love, and you and your siblings were allowed to be whole human beings from the get-go.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I had many talks, I think, with my mom about, that. I mean, I think she was cultivating an openness in me for sure. Yeah.
And to me, one of the blessings of that year you spent right before your mom's diagnosis is that you literally got to spend so much time with your mom and so much time with your dad, one-on-one, one-on-two. And that was such a different environment from what most kids your age were doing.
Yeah, and I would add that I think it's unique that I, as a son, wanted to follow the footsteps of my mother as a storyteller. And so I looked to her and her journey and kind of the ups and downs and the determination that she displayed and embodied. I carry that with me. And I think that stands out to me as something that I don't think is that common.
I agree with you. Gabi, I do not believe in coincidences. Mm-hmm. And I don't believe it's a coincidence that Marian's beautiful mother literally just passed away.
2 days ago, yeah.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the link to Phil's beautiful, beautiful film.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just available for viewing until midnight tonight. But if there's a way, is Marian here or is he on the road?
He's on the road right now. He went to a photo shoot, but yes, we can watch it tonight after the session, after the sound session.
Yes, I know you're going to receive it at the absolute perfect time.
Nice.
No coincidences.
No coincidences.
Yeah.
So beautiful for Marian, for all of us.
So Jessica, Gabi just mentioned the sound bath. For those people that don't really know what a sound bath is, how would you describe it?
So it's a complete submersion of sound and these vibrations. They have these most amazing gongs of various sizes and instruments, singing bowls, like most people are familiar with, maybe not. Tom will usually start.
Most people are not familiar with singing bowls.
Yeah.
No. We live in a bubble.
We live in a bubble. Okay, that's probably true.
It is true.
Yeah. So it's these beautiful hand hammered like copper bowls, and they're all different materials, and they just have the most beautiful sound. It's almost angelic, and the vibrations, it really, it's kind of all encompassing. It's hard to describe, but it's beautiful and it's healing. And the way that Gabi and Mari and how they interweave these beautiful instruments, and it is really, it kind of, you can so easily, you can fall asleep beautifully to it. And the healing happens regardless if you're conscious, if you're awake, or if you're asleep. And it's so beautiful.
And the folks that experienced it live a week ago Saturday, as you knew they would be, Gabi, many of them were transported.
Yes.
Many of them had very concrete, tangible visits with their loved ones. Some of them had visits with the loved ones of other people in the room.
Yes.
So that which is going to limit the experience is me. When I go in with an open heart and an open mind, the sky is the limit as far as what I'm going to be able to experience.
Exactly. But yes, as you say, Tom, sound is literally like a portal between dimensions. And that was meant to be exactly like that in the retreat, for them to feel the encounter, to see it, to feel it, to smell it, to be there. Because sound is essential element, doesn't have like a limit. It transcends matter. And we are, just for us to consider the idea, we are more energy than matter. If we just understand that the atom is a 99.99999% of empty space referring to energy, and then this little molecule appearing once, no? And this is the part of matter that we know that we are matter, no? Solid matter. But I am much more energy than matter. So then sound really give me the environment for me to feel all that connection with all there is, no? With my loved ones, with myself, to the deeper and the highest, no? Of that whole dimension.
So tonight, 7 p.m. Central, there's an opportunity to experience the sound bath live, but virtually. So what I'll do is I'll share the link that folks can click to learn more about it. And if it resonates, hallelujah, hallelujah. Phil, I got to ask you, what would your dad think about the sound bath? Do you have any idea?
I don't know. I think he'd be open to it. He might have already done one. I'm not sure. But yeah, he is like I've said before, he's a philosopher and a kind of a world traveler at heart. So I think he would be open to it.
Yeah.
When's your dad's birthday?
December 16th.
And did your mom pass away on the 14th?
Yes.
Wow.
And Marian's mom's birthday was December 12th. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Very close.
So there's a lot going on here. Folks, you can experience Gabi and Marian tonight at 7 p.m. Central. I honestly don't know why you wouldn't do it, particularly if you want to heal. You can watch Phil's glorious, award-winning film for the rest of the day. If you want to heal, I honestly don't know why you wouldn't give yourself 89 minutes. This is how I want to leave it, Phil. Not if, but when the Bookkeepers is gloriously received by the next film festival, will you let me know? Because I think that would be a really, really cool time to have a conversation with your dad. And with you and your family, we will celebrate that success. How does that sound?
That sounds great. That would be wonderful. We would love that.
So this is how I want to leave it, Gabi. For those of us that are new to the celebration, on November 1st and November 2nd, what are 3 concrete things we could do to be part of your culture's beautiful, beautiful celebration? What can I personally do in my home to welcome them in?
To use all your senses, that means their favorite food. Create something that they used to enjoy so much and smell it and share it with them. And then candles. Candles is always that light that connects us. And yes, you can also music, talking about sound. For example, here I have the guitars, which they used to love. I don't have the piano here. They used to love the piano. I have flutes there. So yes, music, to do music, and through sound to connect with them, and through sound to feel their essence and their joy, their laughter. So yes, these 3 elements could be so perfect, Tom.
I feel really, really humbled, and I feel really, really blessed to be in the presence of pure light. Jessica, Phil, Gabi, thank you for being who you are. And thank you for saying yes to all that's possibility. That's all that's possible. And without a shadow of a doubt, I know that the 3 of us, the 4 of us, the 5 of us, the 6 of us will literally be in the same room sooner than any of you think. And I look forward to that day.
Me too.
Thank you.
Everybody, take really, really good care. I will see you Sunday morning, 9:30 a.m. on Tom Zuba Teaches a New Way to Do Grief. Until then, take